Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first AR or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley. I am joined tonight, as always, by my co-host, Garth Over.
It's another Thursday and we are here.
And our director of propaganda, Joe.
Who's not paying attention. Hi.
Yes, not Jeremy, but Joe. And we are here. We are live. We are with you guys. So we're all happy to be here. And it is another beautiful, frosty Thursday evening here in the Great White North.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it warmed up a little bit last night and today.
It truly did.
We got above.
I mean, it was up to 30 today, which is wonderful.
It's 35 up here, so
I mean that would kill Dusky, but that's why we live up here where the air hurts my face, because I don't have strange reptiles running around in my woods.
It was so warm today. I was wearing shorts outside.
I'm not shocked by that at all.
Well, I wasn't working in it because we had super icy roads this morning. I was like, nah, I'm not going to work.
Well, gentlemen, have you done anything fun in the last week or since we last talked?
So many fun things, actually. One of them I kind of got done doing 20 minutes ago. I was trying out the new Ace VR system, and that is super cool. I'm not saying you guys should go out and spend $600, but I'm saying you should probably go out and spend $600 because this system is badass.
It is a super solid investment. I have one complaint, and it's that there's no rifle controller set up for it yet.
There's got to be coming, right?
It has to. Like, there's no reason for it to not. And the second they have one, I will be ordering it.
Well, I mean, with the dual controllers that you get with the headset, it only makes sense that they would put that out there, and it'd be cool. I would definitely own one.
Oh, yes. 1,000% yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other fun thing I did that I haven't done yet is I finally got the Henry Supreme back from you, and it's still in the box upstairs because I've done a lot of fun things. Some of it was gun related, some of it wasn't. I got a new puppy, and she's not going to debut tonight because, well, she's at the grandparents because my gun room is a mess on the floor, and she is a mini vacuum. So she'll make a debut another day.
Yes. Garth now has a hairy wiener.
I have a hairy wiener. Yeah, I do. It's a 4.2 pound mini dachshund. And I'm super in love with her. She is my baby girl.
Well, that is good. Like, yeah. I'm very happy to hear that.
It's really funny because my brother's pit bull mix is definitely afraid of her.
Well, that is not shocking.
No, not at all.
Especially because I've met Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke's kind of a pansy.
Yep. Yes, and Dusky wants to see your wiener, Garth. But that'll be another night.
That'll be another night.
You can text him. I'll give you his number later.
Yes, indeed. Joe, have you done anything fun and or gun related?
Did I have you order that barrel suppressor for me after the last time?
Yes, it was after the last time you were on. So
I'm gonna leave that one kind of as a surprise. I did somewhat finish that 365 build. I finally got an optic for it, other than the one you borrowed me. The one I wanted wasn't in stock, so I ended up going with the Vortex Defender, and it looks pretty nice. I gotta get it zeroed yet. I haven't had a chance to go out in sub-zero attempts to do that. So.
Yeah, that is the hard part about right now. Now is when I get a lot of gunsmithing done and not a lot of gun shooting done.
Yeah. I did take it out when I had that one I borrowed that he borrowed me. At 10 yards, not even zeroing that dot. I was hitting the center of my target pretty good. So yeah, it fires good, it shoots good. like I said last time I was on, I'm not. I'll get the build spec on the gram here one of these days, but I'm not sold on the company that I went with to get most of the parts. Their customer service wasn't the greatest. I have extra parts. I had parts that I didn't order that showed up, and then I had parts that didn't come with all the parts, and they took forever to get here. But it shoots really good. I sent you guys that video of it when I was just kind of made, and I'm really looking forward to see how good it actually shoots when I'm trying to shoot groups with it. That's my only concern right now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That is good. I have, I know Garth says my life revolves around firearms, but I'm trying to think of what I've done in the past week, but I barely remember what's gone on in the last week because I've had kind of a busy week myself, and I'm going, all right, where were we at? What was I doing? Is it still January? Is it February yet? I'm not really sure.
I think it's still January 1st right now.
Barely a week into January. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I have not done much. Just doing some year-end closeout and getting things like that done. And year-end closeout, new year opening. Those things, getting stuff lined up and lined out. So we have that stuff going on, prepping for some other events that are going to come, and then living in the dumpster fire that is 2025.
It was an exciting first week.
Yeah, it has been
the biggest dumpster fire of all is California. It's burning.
Yeah, it's definitely like we're coming in with a bang, and
a boom, and yeah.
Yeah, see what I did there? Anyways, not to make light of that, but we're off to start with a bang. And so anyways, what we'll do is we'll buy a bus.
No, yes, maybe. I don't know.
Are we going to ride on the ceiling?
I mean, maybe.
Oh,
we have a $20 super chat. But they're the first ones tonight. So that is...
I have an idea who that is. Actually, I know.
From the Engadine Uper.
Yeah. Guess who that is.
I bet I can figure it out.
But since he did that, maybe we can answer a question for him live on air because he's been quizzing me a little bit. I don't know if he's quizzed you or not. He's kind of curious to know what the best LPVO is that's not going to break the bank.
Oh, man. So I do not have one here. I have a optic from Gideon Optics in that I am currently, well, it's mounted to a rifle and ready to begin testing. Mm-hmm. I cannot speak to it now. I know a handful of other people have been testing its durability, and it is incredibly durable. Like he left it frozen in a mountain stream.
Wow.
And it's still holding 0. So that is like, wow, you're good for you, bud. And
don't know if I could do that to one of mine, but
I mean, I could, but I have, and it's from Gideon, and it is the Gideon first focal plane 1 to 8 or 1 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the reticle on it. It is, it's different. It's not your standard kind of reticle that you've been seeing. And with no discount codes or anything, it is, here, I will share the screen so you guys can see what it is I'm looking at. But so it is $469, so $470. That's not going to break the bank, and that's a 1 to 8, first focal plane, which you generally don't see. And I know that we looked at this reticle at GunCon, Garth,
Yep.
and you even were kind of excited about it then. So for people watching our live stream, you will see that it has a reticle that's designed to draw your eye to the center of it. And as that goes through, it does have striations in mils to go through when you get up to that higher power to allow you to do some holds and things of that nature. But it is definitely a different optic. I do like it a lot. And everything I've had from Gideon has been good.
Mm-hmm.
Up until that point, I would have said, like, up until getting my hands on that, I like the Gideon stuff. One of my personal favorite LPVOs has been the Swamp Fox Arrowhead 1 to 10. I know you ran into some problems with yours.
A few different issues. I'm not saying it was entirely the scope's fault. Depending on what suppressor I was using, I was getting a heat mirage from certain suppressors with that scope. And then I beat the crap out of one of them with a Scar M17 that I no longer have. So
yeah, and I will say that those are not quite the horseshoe dot and donut, but close to it, and they do draw things in on that Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really impressed with everything. I know that their prism optics have been super stellar, and I really like that 1 to 10 I have from Swamp Fox. That's been great. Since apparently I'm being controversial lately, I've had a handful of these, and they are definitely not my favorite. I've used them; they've been a solid option, but the quality has not been there, and I'm glad they have a warranty because I've had to use it, and that is the Vortex Strike Eagle.
That's a good one because, I mean, obviously their customer service, it's been proven to back up if you can break those. That's what I run when I am running my LPVO. And if you're looking for quality that doesn't break the bank, especially if you're military law enforcement and you can get on an expert voice or what's the other one, GovX. Like if you can get on that stuff, if you have a reason, which it's almost impossible not to anymore, the price that you can get those for is ridiculous. I bought all of my optics that come that way, and you get that discount, and it's definitely worth it. I've ran that Strike Eagle. I get the 1 through 6, the first gen, and I've never had a problem with it. The only reason I'm not running it right now on my 3-gun rifle is just shooting here in town. I don't need magnification. The red dot that I put on it is all I need. That's the only reason it's not on my rifle. And I hadn't broke it, but I hadn't ran it nearly as much as Dooley would.
Well, and I was running because I sold an older one and went from the first gen 1 to 6 and got a 1 to 8 because I was on that quest for magnification.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ran into having a little bit of problems with it, and it has since came back to bite me. And it's been solid, and they do have amazing customer service. I'm not going to fault them for that, but that is a thing.
Well, the Vortex I have on my firefighter gun behind me is a 1 to 4. I want to say it's the Crossfire. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read or the crap right now. I could go actually take it off the wall if I really wanted to, but that's a super solid little shooting scope. Just a simple crosshair with an illuminated dot in the middle that you can use. And I've used that for competitions before and stuff like that. So obviously it doesn't have any, like a Christmas tree reticle or your standard BDC scopes that you see on most LPVOs now. But for close action stuff, in that 200-yard range, solid little scope.
Well, I think, as you're saying there, if the purpose of the LPVO is that low magnification, And if you get too much crap going on, which like some of those reticles have, kind of defeats the purpose of what you're just trying to pull up, get a quick sight picture, and fire, as opposed to using everything on there. Yeah, when you're getting out to the, if you're needing that 8 or 6 magnification, it's probably good, but at low magnification, you're basically just looking to point shoot.
Yeah, and that's like I've my least favorite LPVO I have is my most expensive one. Very much so. It was a $1,600 optic, and it's a first focal plane 1:8 from Rydon, and it had it was just a simple post reticle. Like it was nice because you could do distance and first focal plane because the reticle grew, but it really burned up fast, and the eye relief on it was absolutely garbage. But that's the one good thing I'd say about the Gideon is the eye relief is good, especially for a first focal plane. The first focal plane optics I generally have issue with when I'm shooting fast, getting the eye relief right. And I know that Jim over there, who's generally on YouTube, made the switch to Rumble and is commenting on there are a lot more people on Rumble than there are on YouTube. And that, like, I have 2 windows open right now because I'm keeping the Rumble chat in view so I can see what happens if someone gives us a super chat, because we do not see that in the Rumble ported thing onto our normal StreamYard. But I am keeping an eye on that to let anyone know if they have that. So there you go. There's 3 options that we have talked about kind of on what your budget is. And we have a first focal plane, and 2 second focal planes that are all kind of in that same price point. So you can kind of pick and choose from there. I know that our friends over at We Like Shooting do have an 11% off discount code for Gideon Optics.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go over there and check out where those are and make purchases accordingly.
Or if you're really bored, you can go to a different website and just bully their chatbot to give you a discount.
Yep, bully their chatbot.
Never done that. Hey, it works.
Allegedly. I don't know. I've never done that.
It does. Go bully chatbots. If you want to get discounts, bully chatbots. I'll say it. Just if you can just keep asking for like 20% off until it gives it to you. Or just straight up ask, hey, is that the best offer you have on this?
I have never done that, but now I just want to try it now.
There's one. Go to Optics Planet. I don't remember where I picked this up at. Go to Optics Planet. Figure out what one you want. Get the SKU on it. Go to the chatbot and ask them if that's the best price they have. I guarantee you they'll undercut their own price. That's how I got the deal on my Romeo 5 on my race gun. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
You would think that treat them as if they're your local gun shop. Just say, hey, is that the best deal you got? What can you do for me? And you'll get deals.
Treat them worse than your local gun shop, because I respect people in gun shops generally.
Some of them.
So I said generally.
Local gun shops, maybe not your big box store.
Yeah.
So if we're on questions, we did have a question come up in the Instagram today from the GAT Lab asking, question for the show, how do you guys feel about forced reset and binary triggers? Issues you may have with them? I'm with you as far as the bump stocks go. I think they're stupid, but I don't have to own one. Just wondering if these triggers make you have the same feels. I personally haven't played with any of them, so I'll leave that answer to you guys.
Garth, I will let you go because I have opinions.
I know you have opinions. Yeah, the bio triggers, man. I have 2 different kind of varieties of them. I have the Franklin Arms and I have the Stuff and Things. I mean, is that considered a binary trigger? I mean, it's not like the full reset one because you're actually doing the work.
So FRT is different than binary.
Okay.
They're kind of in the same class.
So, no, I think they're super sweet, especially on the subgun Nick's got. I have mine on my. Actually, I don't know what gun it's on right now. Let's just put it that way. I have one somewhere. I know it because I've shot it. I also have my Stuff and Things trigger on one of my guns in my pickup. So, super cool. Burn a lot more brass, but if you want to go out and play at the range and impress all your friends, awesome. I haven't worked with them enough to be accurate in my shooting, but do I think they have a place? Yes, 100%. Have I found out what that place is? No. But do I have them? Yes.
So I have very definite opinions about this. I am actually with Klecker here. And binary over FRT, but platform also makes a difference. PCC 1000% battle rifle. No, and I'm talking battle rifles in 308. There are points where you could run a battle rifle with it. But PCC very much so, to the point of here we go. We have another one. Thank you guys for the info. It helps a lot in my decision. Thank you for that super chat. Binary triggers. So binary versus forced reset. Binary for the win. The reason why I don't like, so on the gunsmith side, I have installed a bunch of both. I own a binary. And the reason for that is because up until the Hansen Super Safety, or just the Super Safety as it's called, which has a push through for the safety selector. So it's more like a barrel safety that goes through where you push it and it has 3 positions. It will still run as a normal semi-automatic trigger. And then when you push it all the way through, it will go into the FRT mode. That was the first forced reset trigger that allowed you to have 3 positions. I think it is incredibly important to have the 3 positions of fire so you can shoot in standard semi-automatic as well, and then safe and everything like that. But having that is incredibly important, because if all you can do with it is shoot full auto, like that's lightning link and stuff like that, yeah, it's cool, but automatic fire has a purpose, but not everyone is laying down suppressive fire. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because that's kind of what I think of when I think of that specific trigger. I'm just like, well, I've never found myself in a position where I need to lay down that much fire.
But, well, and arguably a binary trigger, doing USPSA or 3-gun or what's the other one? I don't know. I know they run a slight. What's that?
PLCS or PCLS.
Yeah, practical
competitive shooter league, PCSL.
Yeah, that has and they actually have. So we were talking about ACE. They have a bunch of stages in that, and they have a kill box, and then the standard one, which is different because it's not A zone. They have a straight up like T box, and that's the only one shot hit, which I think is cool. And when you move into that, but runs like a standard USPSA stage, there are matches that banned binaries because they allowed you to shoot so fast, because it was on off, and if you're just dumping 2 rounds onto the target, it doesn't matter where. Okay, pop, and it allows you to shoot a little faster, which I will give that. So I think they do definitely have purpose. I think they can be an incredible asset. And like HK did a 2-round burst on the MP5. Yeah.
No, they're super cool. The competition thing, I understand why it's not allowed anymore, just because PCC you can burn and turn and burn with those things super quick anyway. So I get why they took it out. But they're a neat little gadget to have. But
All right. I understand this. I'm going to give the podcast's official stance on the 7mm broke back country. It is soon to be the latest forgotten cartridge from Federal. If you'll remember, they did something called 224 Valkyrie, 327 Federal mag. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying you don't hear about it because they're not really producing a lot of stuff in it. And then everybody remembers how a revolutionary 32 French long, 30 super carry was, and how those guns are still flying off the shelf. Good in concept, bad in this. The 7mm backcountry is steel-cased, spicy 280 Remington. I said what I said, and I'm going to stand by it. We don't need to keep talking about it because it is the big gay. If you buy that rifle, it should be in shining, sparkling colors of the rainbow. And yeah, that's my statement on it.
I'll give my statement on calibers in general. The more calibers you have, the more you have to spend on ammo, the more you have to spend on dies, the more you have to spend on all this, everything. I prefer one pistol caliber, 2 or 3 rifle calibers, because you have more variety, more practical uses for different calibers. And I'm not gonna go shoot an elk with my 223.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shoot prairie dog. Well, you could shoot prairie dogs with 7mm, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be expensive.
I've seen a guy do it.
Well,
do it, and that's where some of these come. They're awesome because you can get people to jump in on them. I almost bought, was it the 204 Remington 204?
204. Well, there was the 204 Ruger.
Yeah,
which is still around, and that actually had some staying power.
It did, but I remember that the reason that I didn't, the argument that sunk into me the most when I was looking between that and the 223 was, and this was back before, back when you could just buy ammo anywhere and everywhere. You could walk into any small town gas station and buy a 223 or 243 or 30-06, like that stuff. So if you somehow, especially before we start buying in bulk, certain things just aren't available in certain areas, in certain spots when you're in a pinch. And yeah, it might be cool to take it to the range or to do cool things with, but like everything else, like you said with the 224 Valkyrie and some of those other, they make you look at 300 Blackout, it's got its niche, but it was really popular for a couple of years, and then it's still there, just like you said with the 204, but it's not everything like it was at one time.
Yeah, and it is like 300 Blackout kind of had a resurgence. I've said before I talked about I'm not into 8.6. The only other weird cartridge I would get into right now is probably the 8.6 because it stores energy through torsion.
See, I want to play with that one just because of how.
Yeah, it stores energy. It stores energy through torsion.
Yeah, but how out of the box it is the reason I wanna see that one or play with that one.
Yeah, I agree. This cartridge we're getting into, it's a 30-06 case more or less.
I thought it was 308 case, isn't it?
No, it's 30-06 because it's long. It's a long action, I wanted to say. But I do know that they're running their own alloy case. It's a ferrous case. It's a steel case. It's their own steel alloy that they're claiming is reloadable, but you have to use their dies. And
like anything until it gets out there.
Well, it's ostensibly 280 Remington.
Is it the 6.8 special? What is it? The actual?
No, it's called the 7mm backcountry.
No, that the one you're talking about now. I was talking about the 6.8.
Which one?
We're only talking about 6.8 with the saving,
8.6 Blackout.
15 to 1
8.6 blackout.
8.6 blackout. Yeah.
But they go through that. They're running a higher pressure load and they're using a steel case to contain it, so they don't have like brass rupture. But from what I've seen, you're only gaining like 150 feet per second. So I don't find it's not worth it. Buy a 280 Ackley improved. And that is cartridge talk for this week.
Oh no, I wanted to get more in on that 8.6.
We can talk about that later because we actually could probably do a whole show on it.
I know, I think we should. And if anybody out there wants to get us some demos of that, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. But also this caliber talk when you're talking about like what could I use my 223 for? Like I don't know if I could use it to take down an elk. That leads into tonight's topic incredibly well because it's what can your AR do? Can your AR do everything?
Yeah, I think the better question would be what can't you do with your AR, because the AR is such a versatile gun. I mean, all this caliber talk, you're right. I don't venture out into different calibers because truthfully, I don't want to, because like Joe said, then you're dealing with prices and annual variation, reloading stuff, because when you're doing the 7mm 6.5 crap, yeah, you can go buy it off the shelf, but a lot of guys get into reloading at that point. Whereas 223, man, you can do reloading or you can go buy off the shelf because prices have come down so much. But no, I'm reading. Come back down. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, what don't you use your AR for, Nick? I carry one daily with me in my vehicle. I know you do. I think Joe does. Yeah, dude, I use mine for varmint hunting. I use it for hunting. I use it for a self-defense situation. Thank goodness I've never been in a position where I actually need to use it for, but that's why it's there. So
no, I do agree. The question is what can't an AR do? And the answer is nothing. But if we're going to talk about it, like when I say there's nothing an AR can't do, we could get into semantics and be like, oh no, like we're talking strictly about the AR-15 because like, I know that, I've shot ARs in 300 Win Mag. You can purchase them for under $1,000.
you can.
And they are reliable. I know guys who have them in 300 Win Mag and 30-06 and they run and they run well.
If you want to expand on that, so if you have a AR-10 lower, which according to the ATF and the FBI, that is the firearm, not the upper receiver in the barrel. You can swap out from your 308 to your 6.5 to
your 12 gauge because a Genesis Arms upper will run on one.
To whatever you want to do with it, which, that opens up. Yeah, if I want to go, Julie's been with me. I've deer hunted with my DPMS, whatever it is, but that AR-10, and you can do that. And then if you want to pull it off and drop a 3 or a 6.5 on it and go shoot at a mile the next day, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes with, you go down to the AR-15. If you want to go out and clink at prairie dogs, or you want to go shoot a match, or you want to get home and drop a subsonic 308 or 300 blackout for home defense, you've got it. They can do whatever you want with it.
They can. And one of the best things they can do is they can accept a VZ grip. And the unique features of VZ grips that are machined from a solid block of G10. And G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, as well as color options and shorty versions available. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, standard slim palms, plus slim notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. You can even get grips for my beloved Berettas. And there's one coupon code that is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips, and that code is AR-15 podcast. But as you were saying, Joe, like when you get into it, like we can get into the weeds and talk about that, where quite literally you can do anything with them. Like the AR-10, like I can run this and I can drop my 6.5 upper and run out to a mile. And I could grab a Wyoming, or what was it? They're out of Wyoming. I can't remember the name of them, but they were like a competitor of Genesis Arms that did another 12 gauge upper shot 2 3/4, and you could grab that and go shoot pheasants or geese or whatever if you wanted to with it. Well, I mean, 2 3/4 isn't really goose load, but you could in theory. And Grandpa did it, but
not a lot of geese using 2 3/4 inch shells. Before 3.5 was out there, it was a better option than a 3-inch.
But
and if anybody wants to get into that, I'll have that conversation later.
Joe's going, I'll fight you.
Because it's simple. I'll make it simple. So the 3-inch, the old 3-inch
added weight, but not
the old
added
3-inch rifles, or 3-inch shotgun shells, and the 2 3/4 inch. To go from 2 3/4 inch to 3-inch, all they did was added more shot. You had the same amount of powder, so you actually had better velocity in your 2 3/4 inch.
They added payload, not powder.
They put more oomph behind it. It just added weight to it.
Yep. And but running that, it's so you have the capability with that. Going back to the AR-15 and 223, because I am going to try and focus this discussion mostly on 223, because like I said, we can get into the rest of it. 300 blackout is amazing. It does everything. Like, it can do a lot of stuff. Taking deer with 300 blackout. I've taken deer with 223. Arguably, I'm not going to say it's recommended. I'm going to say you could take even larger game with 300 blackout or 223, because shot placement is key. But we're not talking about, like, this isn't in the realm of ethical hunting shots. This is, I need meat to live, and I'm going to shoot a cow elk in the head.
I would hunt ethically. I would hunt antelope ethically all day long.
Oh, the 223?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
My dog's bigger than an antelope, aren't you?
I will shoot deer all day long with a 223 ethically.
I'll do it with a 22 long rifle, but that's not necessarily ethical, but a different tool.
Well,
yes.
To piggyback though, what you guys were talking about by doing upper swaps and stuff, the best part about the 223 is you can do that with your home defense gun, where you're rocking your 10.5 or 11.5 inch gun, and then pop that off if you're on a pistol brace or if you have the actual stamp, and then you can throw your rifle upper on there and then swap back and forth. You can't do that the other way with rifle, but you can do it pistol, rifle, pistol.
Imagine having
government.
It's like having a race car that I can pull an engine in 15 minutes and drop a new one in to go to the dirt track, and then the next day do the exact same pop and go race with the straight track. Like, you can do so much with it in a little amount of time. You don't have to be a gunsmith to
work on it.
Modifying that stuff.
No, and so I have, like, this is in my personal. If you want to get into it, like, what can your AR do everything? And I am going to say that yes, a 223 AR can do almost everything that anyone would need it to. I'm going to leave out, like, large game hunting. We're not talking about bear and elk and moose. I'm going to
hunting, but I'm bringing a buddy.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk about long range shooting with it. I mean, that's kind of something that, can you shoot that far? Yes.
Well, when you get into long range, so I personally have a rifle that I've shot to 1,000 on multiple occasions with in 223, and it is and that's as dirt racers saying, like, they're not great for PRS, and I would argue that is not exactly a true fact.
I wish PRS had a 22
gas gun
class and their 30, and then up class, because you'd be amazed at what, if you're competing against just other guys with the exact same caliber, the exact same round, they're good. And if you want to see what it's capable of, go look at the guys that are shooting 400 to 600 meters at the President's 100 matches and stuff like that. They're shooting
a 6-inch target.
Yeah,
they're shooting under 6-inch targets.
Very strict rules. They're not running super tricked out PRS guns. They're shooting
service rifle
for the most part, service rifles with a service optic, and
that's what I'm going to say. Like, getting into this, I'm going to leave. Granted, my long range gun is an 18-inch barrel, but I built that very specifically to be a long range gun. It's a heavy profile barrel, 5R rifling. It even has an oversized thread pitch for the can I wanted to use for it. And like, that was a very purpose-built rifle for shooting long range. It has, I put a lot of thought into making that barrel do what it does well, and it does it amazingly. But an out-of-the-box rifle, like, this is one where these people are not a sponsor of ours. Mitchell Defense. I've shot a Mitchell Defense rifle on several occasions. I have had one come in, a guy liked it so much that he sent it. He paid me more money than I was willing to have for it, and I said, "Yep, you can have it." And that 16-inch factory rifle is capable of doing so much. So my do everything, my quote go to war rifle that I built has a 16-inch barrel and a 1 to 10 LPVO, and I would have no problem running a 3-gun match with that, or shooting to 600 plus yards with it. Like, in a heartbeat, I would do any of that. And I'm saying I would engage a man-sized target in combat distances to 600 yards and not think twice with a 16-inch rifle with a collapsible stock.
Yeah, they're amazing. And let's not forget, you can also build them into a pistol.
Well, I'm even going to say, like, if we're going to talk about just a standard AR, a 16-inch AR, like, I'll put restrictions on it. Can a 16-inch AR be used to defend your house?
Oh, yeah.
Is the average person going to be more accurate with a 16-inch AR than they would with a handgun?
Yes.
No. At close range, I don't think so. I think I would love to test that with just, let's go to Walmart and grab like 6 people and take them to the range and put them in a high stress situation. I think they'll panic more with the rifle. I'm envisioning, yeah, you can be more accurate, like, if you know what you're doing, but I think point and fire on a handgun versus trying to do this at close quarters, if they're not trained, I think they'd be better off with a pistol.
Yeah, but here, look at how you just pulled up your hands. You're pulling up like a competition shooter because you've done it. It's repetition.
That's what I'm saying because if you take people off the street, I think they're going to be more comfortable point and shoot with the pistol than with the barrel. Or
I don't know about that one. Just because a lot of people where we live we grew up hunting with shotguns and rifles. They know how to hold a rifle, but pistols, they went out once in a while with.
And that's one where I honestly think this would be a good experiment to do. Actually, I have a great idea for this. I'm gonna have to see if I can get them to sign on to it. Because locally they started up a girl in a gun chapter.
Oh gosh, yeah, I heard about that.
Hey, you should get them on the podcast.
Yeah, I've already talked to him about it. But we have that new girl in a gun chapter, and to get a cross section of humanity there, and be like, hey, here's a pistol, point click, like with a Glock 19, and here's an AR, and kind of see where that shakes out.
I'm just saying that in a high stress defensive situation, I think it's easier to point a pistol than a rifle.
I agree, and I will fully admit on this. I have blinders on this and confirmation bias, not because I believe everyone will be better with a rifle, because I look back and I think about it, like, in my house, obviously I am the shooter. Like I do, more shooting than anyone else in my household. And but everyone in my household, will go to the range or do some shooting and stuff like that. But every single one of them is better with an AR than they are with a handgun. But again, that's because, like my wife, I'm not going to say was extensively trained because that's not the right word, but has more familiarity.
She was introduced.
Has more familiarity with the AR platform than with a pistol because she was in the Air Force. So yes, they had to qualify. They had to do all that. So she would naturally gravitate. Like she's a, like you guys know Marnie, and she is a shotgun shooter and loves to shoot skeet and trap. I'm not saying she's the best at it, but she likes that, and that's what she gets down with. And given the option, she would still rather have an AR for home defense instead of a shotgun because she feels more comfortable with it in a stressful environment.
No, I can see that just for the ease of comfort. I mean, having your hands in that rifle position versus the pistol position, because things get in the way in a stressful environment. I see a lot more going wrong if you're not trained properly with a pistol than a rifle.
Yeah, and like Klecker Tactical says, rifle has has to use two hands, so more stable. A pistol should be used two-handed as well, but a bad grip it might as well be one-handed as well and harder to handle. And Dusky says, I think there are points to be made on both sides. I think the pistol feels more comfortable, but the rifle is quicker to get good at with practice. And that is true. The learning curve is shorter on a rifle than it is a pistol. But I'm going to go like in a stupid scenario where it's like, oh man, you can only have one thing. Like if I could only take one gun, if I could only have one, it would be an AR. Because I could do everything with it.
Yes, but if we're going to go down that route of scenarios, then I'm going to take a pistol because I cherish concealed carry over. I don't want to be a Second Amendment auditor, but
I'm not saying that. It's like I agree with that. I'm more thinking like
in your house.
One like if you're talking about like just in your house, like not carrying. If I can only have one gun, like it's the end of the world, and I have to run out with one firearm.
Okay, that's fair.
Like I'm going to grab an AR and do what I need to do with it because I can take game, I can defend myself, I can, realistically, you can kill anything on the North American continent with one if you do it right.
You know what's funny is if you ask all the AK guys on the AK corner what they would run out with too, they'd all say ARs too.
Oh well, I mean my AR, yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
Like, I say that understanding in full well that like, yeah, 12 gauge shotgun you can do a lot with, but an AR is such a force multiplier on every possible aspect that an AR is where I would say I would lean because it is so versatile. A 16-inch AR is fully capable of doing CQB and like defending your house with. And if you think it's not, I know dudes, like I'm good friends with dudes who kicked in doors with 20-inch A2s. Like I was a saw gunner in GWAT, man. Running through that stuff. The barrel length isn't really a question, but I do think they're infinitely adaptable to the scenario. And like Joe was saying earlier, I mean, varmint hunting, like whacking prairie dogs with them. The last time we went prairie dog hunting, we didn't, really get any, but we were there.
That one was pretty cocky.
I mean, and two of us had ARs. One of us had a SIG 550, and one of us had something that everyone took AR mags.
Everyone took AR mags. My gun was AR mag capable. I had the little bastard in my sights. I just wanted to be nice and let the out-of-state guy shoot, pull the trigger, Pull the trigger, Mike.
And he didn't.
I can only take a headshot. Take it. It's the only one around. Take it. It's not like you're gonna scare the rest of them away.
Oops.
But
funny.
no, that was a bummer. We didn't get. We should have gone earlier.
Yep. Should have reversed it
right after it clouded up. I think it would have been a lot better.
Yep.
Earlier in the day when it was still warmer and sunny.
Yep. But back to what we were saying. Is there anything you can't do with an AR? Like realistically, like let's get back to. I know we talked about a handful of things. We're talking about the utility of it and everything. But is it?
I think Garth hit it. It's about the only thing it probably lacks is your everyday carry concealment. Like, yeah, you can keep one in the truck. You can keep one at the bedside. But if I'm going to go walk down Bourbon Street, probably not what you need. So
Yeah.
I would say that would be the one flaw that it has. You can't really do an EDC concealed carry.
Yeah, so I know that earlier, very early before the show started, we had a question tonight before we went live from Jim talking about the BRN 180 Gen 3. And this is one of those, like, I'm going to go off on this for a second. Inevitably, they came out with the amazing new version of it immediately after I purchased mine. I finally made up my mind. Finally made up my mind. Yep, I'm going to get one of these. And then they went to a non-reciprocating charging handle on the left side instead of like on the bolt. Has a proper dust cover, everything like that. I went, oh hey, look at this! They made all the improvements that I said. Man, if they had this, it would just be awesome. And here I am. But regardless, my 10.5 inch BRN 180 on an AR lower, so I'm going to call it an AR. It will fit in most of my backpacks. So it's could you EDC carry it? Yes. Is it a likelihood for most people? No. Do I recommend it? Probably not. Because if you're walking around on Bourbon Street with an AR in a backpack, in the event you have to pull that out, people are going to think you're one of the bad guys.
100%. That's what's going to happen. I don't care how quick of a draw you are and how many times you've practiced in your basement. Don't be that guy. just don't. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, the concealment issue has always been the thing for me. Obviously, that's why we all rock pistols. The other one for me personally is I can't shoot long range to save my life, and I'm not going to shoot a mile with an AR. I'm just not going to attempt it. That's something that gun and I aren't going to be able to do. Is there a guy out there that could probably do it? Sure. Do I care? No. I don't. Yeah, I know. We know.
Well, the 6.5 gas gun, like that might be a thing.
Well, but yeah, I mean, beyond those two minor issues, and again, depends on where I'm at, because have I strapped on something that wasn't a pistol, like an AR, and walked around? Yeah. Was it a time and place where I knew I was going to be okay doing it? Yeah. But so.
Weren't you rocking, did you have a pistol or a foldable stock in your side bag for a while, like Dooley did?
I had the, just the collapsible, I just had a pistol in there with the collapsible stock.
I mean,
so.
that's an option. I mean, not like any of us going house or anything like Sons of Anarchy, but you were able to carry it on your bike without it walking across your back.
Yeah, and that's again, that was I ever at a large concert with 80,000 people and had
where rules were made up because of,
I mean, yeah. Because they kept adding more rules every year, I quit going because apparently it was my fault.
Someone kept breaking all the rules or breaking all the guidelines, which turned
I
into
don't know
rules.
how you can be told you're too loud at a motorcycle rally.
Yeah.
Without using a motorcycle.
Yeah. You're saying nothing new to me. I've heard this plenty of times. Sir, you got to be quiet. I haven't even said anything. Yeah, we remember you from last time. What's that mean?
They didn't make rules at a national event because of you.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, oh, hey, there's 200,000 people here. This is really sketchy. So the left bag, we don't touch the left bag. The right bag is a bar.
Amazing how a saddlebag will fit a case of beer.
Yeah.
You dump some ice in it. Yeah.
But that's beside the point.
The only thing that wasn't, hell, at that point, you probably had tobacco on you. So just rolling ATF, man.
Yeah. But no, that we are definitely there is a new goal I didn't know I needed.
And that's how you get on a government list.
Oh, please. Now I'm trying to set the record. But no, again, just to get back to kind of our topic for the show, I really don't think there's a better platform. That's why it's become America's rifle. You can do a lot with it. There's arguments to be made, and I can hear people, not as much listeners to our show, but I know other people be like, oh, you can do anything with a Remington 870. And
you can do a lot with a Remington 870.
Oh, you can very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I don't think you can shoot a mile.
No, you can't.
I don't think you can shoot more than like quarter mile. But
yeah,
there's limitations to everything, but you're gonna check more boxes with the AR-15.
Yeah, I truly do believe that the AR-15 is the most versatile tool that we have as Americans.
We need to get the modern sporting rifle usage for it more mainstream. Not the assault rifle, not the black rifle, not even the 15, but the modern sporting rifle.
Well, I like Klecker's comment there. America's rifle equals the new AR meaning. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, good. That's good. I can see that. But yeah,
it's the AR is America's rifle. Like I know that, and that's something I can actually back up with facts. If you look into like FBI draw statistics and stuff like that, like background and what we sold, there are more ARs sold in America than any other rifle platform.
I believe that. 100%. Yeah, I could see that. No. And you know what, actually, the great thing about ARs is if you ever go to Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co, you can look up the dangerous to go alone little line, and then you can get a awesome patch like this, which reminds you to take your AR with you because it's dangerous out there in this world and you don't know what you're going to find. And you can find this awesome patch and a whole bunch more just like it at Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
Do you have this month mystery patch or patch of the month on handy?
Yes. I
that
don't.
Was a good one. I liked it. And that's go. You don't even have to like look at them and be like, you know what? I should buy this one. You should just subscribe to the patch of the month and see what shows up every month with stickers, and they always throws in some extra.
Was that the what was Yeti. It? The Yeti, that's right.
Yep. Ice cold. Yeah. Or cold-blooded. Yeah. Cold-blooded with a Gatling gun. So I just looked it up, and it is estimated in 2021. So 2021, what was that, 4 years ago now?
Yeah.
They estimated in 2021, an estimate.
Mm-hmm.
There were 24.6 million people possessing an AR.
Dang.
So when you're talking,
how does that estimate work though? Is that like Because you buy like 300 a year versus the guy that buys one. How are they figuring?
I don't know. And that's why they call it an estimate, because they're probably figuring there are people buying multiples and there's people only having one. But it's when you're looking at this is how many were sold and have been sold domestically. When you're looking at probably closer to 30 million now, 30 million ARs in a country of 330 million.
How many of them actually run?
That is irrelevant.
How many of them? Are they all Daniel Defense, or are we talking some Bear Creek Arsenals? Like, what are we talking? What?
They're probably
work.
I bet there's more Palmetto State Armory and Anderson's than anything else.
So, Smith & Wesson's that Sporticle or Sport 2 was pretty popular.
Well, so was the DPMS Sporticle.
Yeah, Sporticle. That DPMS had Sport.
Yep, but no, it is America's rifle, and that is where it's at. Like, I'm proud of it. I love it, and they are in common use.
Mm-hmm.
Like apple pie and baseball.
Yes, indeedy. So, guys, we've been on the air for about an hour. We got about a half hour of our topic, and I think we covered everything we needed to.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
But is there anything else you guys would like to talk about tonight or speak to before we start to shut it down?
No, just like we said all night. My bad. Go out, take your rifles out, train with them, because obviously if you just have a rifle, it doesn't do you any good. You have to go out and train it. You have to know how to function it. You have to know how to shoot with it. So go out, get training, because that's kind of what we believe in too.
Dry fire. Just get used to your manual of arms. Like, just reloads. Blindfold yourself and try to reload your weapon using dummy rounds or empty magazines. You don't have, like right now, if you're in South Dakota, you probably don't want to go to the range when it's 2 degrees outside. Doesn't mean you can't work in your basement. There's a lot of stuff you can do that does not require live ammunition. Make sure there's no live ammunition in or around the room you're working in.
So I also just got this. Like, I literally, as you were talking, got this in a text message. I'll show it, but it's Ace VR headsets. People are 3D printing an AR.
Dude, that's cool.
Controller for the
cool,
Ace VR.
You still need the AR in the platform.
Yeah.
In order to actually get the most use out of that, but
and Klecker, I 100% agree that gunfight won't wait for good weather, so you have to train and inclement, and I do. And I make it a point to go out and train when the weather's bad. But I would much rather do some dry fire in the basement. When
you're going to get more out of doing repetitions in
good
comfort
reps
until you forget them, rather than freezing your finger off in 2 minutes and then trying it.
1,000,000 good reps of dry fire is better than 20 shit reps in live fire.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. But that is true. So with that, I think everybody knows what I'm about to say. Folks, what a time to be alive. You know, we're here coming to you live for our second show in 2025, and it's already shaping up to be one hell of a year. And we know that when you look at what's happening, go out and get training, because no one is coming to save you. Be prepared to self-rescue. Like, you will be your own first responder, and you should be able to help you and your loved ones. Get training, stay safe, and stay armed. Support the people who support the show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, 4patriots.com, and Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to check us out on social media. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram, AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on YouTube, AR-15 Podcast 2 on Twitter, AR-15 Podcast on Facebook, and wherever podcasts are found. If you just want to drop us a line, let us know how we're doing, or give us a show idea, make sure to send that email to AR-15podcast 2.0 @gmail.com.